Mississippi, that's an apropos song there, isn't it? Cold as ice. Foreigner. It's cold as ice out there today, I would say. We're not getting above 40 around here, are we?
We did have somebody text in and say that they're predicting just above 40 on the Gulf Coast, but we have Mike Edmonston, the senior meteorologist from the National Weather Service in Jackson, to tell us more.
Sounds good. Appreciate that. Morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Mike, tell us about what we can expect over the weekend.
Well, actually, this should be the end of any wintry precip that we're expecting through the weekend. You mentioned down along the coast. I'm here in central Mississippi, and I just finished the update, and we're looking for somewhere around 37 in central Mississippi. But, southern Mississippi along the coast, I-10 corridor may, briefly go up to lower 40s before dropping back down. But the precipitation chances will be over for the weekend. But some of the coldest temps are expected tonight. So there's a hard freeze issued, I think, by the National Weather Service in Slidell, because the people down there along the coast aren't acclimated as much as the temperatures that we're looking for, and we're looking, to go down in the low to mid 20s. Up here in the north, around I-20 corridor and north, we're going to see teens for Saturday morning. So it's just below our hard freeze criteria because we're only going to dip down there and then go back up above freezing. But the coldest night of the whole period is basically tonight. So if you're not prepared for the cold, that's prepare tonight. But then as we get into the weekend, we're just looking for a slow moderation of temps. It'll be cold again on Sunday morning. Central Mississippi can see lower 20s, all the way up into the northern Mississippi. Mm-hmm. And then down in southern Mississippi along the coast will be in the 20s, maybe the mid to upper 20s. And Saturday's temps will recover a little bit into the 40s. We're expecting 40s across much of the state. You may even see it briefly go up to 50, 51, lower 50s down along the Interstate 10 corridor. As we get into Sunday, we'll start seeing, closer to normal. In the 50s, it'll still be cooler than normal. And the next chance for any rain that we're looking for, just kind of goes into the Monday period, is Monday. There will be a low-pressure system coming along the Gulf Coast from the west. So we've got chance of rain coming back in on during the day Monday. So we're not anticipating any more wintry precip, but that'll be the next chance for rain in our area.
Okay. So what are the average temps this time of year? How far or close are we to those given this cold snap?
Well, the average temps right now, especially here in central Mississippi, average around the low to mid 30s. So there on the coast, you may be up around 40 degrees. I was just briefly looking at the record lows, and the record low, like here in Jackson, is like 2 degrees. So we're not looking for record cold, but it'll definitely be cold. And like you said, you'll have your hard freeze criteria. We'll have some dangerous wind chills, as a matter of fact, too. The wind is strongest today, and it'll become lighter as we get into tonight and tomorrow. But some of the lowest wind chills we've seen have been in the single digits across portions of the Mississippi Delta this morning, up around Clarksville and in that area, and further north toward Memphis, toward the northern portions of Mississippi. So we're not looking for a wind chill advisory. It's pretty much going to be hard cold temperatures. But you could see teens to near single digits, even with the lighter winds tonight when you're getting down into the lower 20s in central and northern Mississippi.
Wow. So I read something, Mike, help me out here, where the prevailing weather pattern for this winter, this period of the year, expected to be La Nina as opposed to El Nino, which the way I understand it means the jet stream typically stays to our north, which usually results in drier conditions across the southern tier of the United States. Is that correct? What are we looking at here?
Yeah, that's correct, but that's the mean pattern, so there's a lot of variability in there.
Yeah.
And if we're drier, then we can get colder air down here. If we've got like a wet pattern and maintain moisture, we don't, generally tend to get as cold. It's when we've really dried out, and some of the drought monitor was showing, abnormally dry conditions. Now, some people may laugh, around central Mississippi 2 days ago. I think we've gotten over an inch of rain in some of the spots, so it wasn't looking too dry with puddles laying around and anticipating black ice. But generally speaking, we were abnormally dry and, lacking on rainfall across much of the state. So when you get into the, La Nina pattern and the El Nino and the La Nina pattern, you'll have variabilities, but then you'll have long-term trends. And our variabilities is, sending these strong cold fronts down at this time. But we're hoping that we don't repeat, last year's ice storm, where it kind of locked us in here in central Mississippi for a period of time. But
yeah, I agree. We don't want that again. That was Rhino couldn't get out of his driveway there last year.
But this is the coldest time, from middle of January to the first, part of February. That's the coldest time of the year. So this isn't unexpected. If we're going to have freeze warnings and whatnot, this is the period of time that we're going to see them, and then we'll start warming up and getting back into a hardcore severe weather season for March, April, and maybe into May.
Yeah. What do you see in the northern part of the country with the jet stream kind of draped over that, as you typically see in a La Nina situation? What are we seeing up there? It seems like they've had some incredibly cold weather and lots of snow.
That's exactly what we're seeing. I mean, that's the pattern should continue up there, and the only impact for down here, if most of it would stay locked in, would be little colder temperatures, especially when we start getting northerly winds or northwesterly flow.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, if you're living along the river, Mississippi River is getting up and spin up. So once all that stuff starts melting, we start maybe seeing some flooding along the Mississippi River as far as impacts down here due to what's going on in the north. So
I got you. Anything else we need to be aware of to stay safe with respect to these frigid temperatures? What's the recommendation from the National Weather Service?
Well, of course, it's the 3 Ps, pipes, people, and pets. And hopefully people are taking precautions to protect their vegetation, but also bring the pets indoors if they can to provide extra warmth and whatnot. And of course, with the space heaters, there's always the danger of any type of internal fire. A lot of people, we have space heaters going on right now in our office for instance, so we're kind of monitoring those. But that's it. Dress warmly and provide cover for possible wind chills too.
Yeah.
If you're just going out for a drive, it's like, even if it's a brief anticipated drive, just not anticipate a flat tire, but it's almost like, plan for the worst. Don't just run out in a light jacket just thinking it's a quick little trip.
Yeah.
Some of those turn into like traffic jams where you're stuck in the, some of the colder weather. So
yeah, got it. Makes sense. Mike, appreciate you joining us and providing this valuable update here this morning. And we're going to do what you said and stay safe and get back at it. Appreciate it, man.
There you go. Thanks a lot.
Mike Edmonston, senior meteorologist with the National Weather Service, giving us an update there. So, Rhino, how could we forget about the debacle last year where I was stuck in the hotel here a couple of blocks away for, I think, 4 days. You couldn't get out of the driveway. Perez was pulling double duty. He was able to get around. I think Paul was staying over in the hotel as well.
Oh, yeah.
And a couple of days there, we survived on a diet of Twix bars and nabs. And then they ran out of that in the hotel, and we started raiding the honey buns out of the vending machine downstairs. Don't need any more of that. That wasn't any fun.
Yeah, that was a really rare occurrence because we've had icing and snow and wintry precipitation before, and even in a very similar situation where it was coming overnight and we'd have to wake up and see what happened. But I'd been through that a couple times. So when the boss called me and said, hey, called me on Sunday afternoon before it really started getting bad, and he goes, hey, do we need to put you up? And I was like, no, I'll be fine. I'll just wake up in the morning and come on in. It'll be like all the other times. And nope, I was iced in.
And poor Perez had to pull overtime double duty. By the time he got to me, he was worn out, man. Well, we got through it, though. It will be fine, and we will again as well. We'll take a break right here. Don't forget, Scott Waller with the Mississippi Economic Council joins us at 12:05. We got a lot more talk here on Midday. Stay with us.